diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everybody. Actually, I think I'm going to take this background off. Seems to bog up the camera a little bit. So maybe I'll put it back on. I don't know. Not really the point of the whole thing, is it?
Morning.
Morning.
Your topic intrigued me.
It's the daily reflection, brother. I didn't come up with a topic. I got lazy today.
It's still intriguing.
Well, I think we're on page 19. I don't remember. I think there's a 9 in it somewhere. Yep, 19. So yeah, it's just a step 1 of everything. All right, we're done sharing everywhere. That to chat. This is what it's like when it's with us here, and I have my virtual background. What happens? See how that looks? That looks kind of cool though, because your background's kind of dark. So.
Yeah, it's just dark in here, and I don't feel like turning on the blinding lights.
I only have one light on here.
My kids called me Batman growing up.
Yeah, I'm usually in the basement wherever I live. Upsets my mother. I feel safe. This is who I am. I've always, it's always been that way. So even when I live with them, I'm like, can I put my room in the basement? They're like, it's not even finished, Dion. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I go down there, sleep next to the box that we have from Amityville, New York. That box used to scare the crap out of me. All right. Yeah, I'm barely even awake. All right. So let's pull out our big books. Where's that 3-minute mark? God, that's a big book. It gets bigger. I'll get rid of this. I'll put it back when I have a green screen. Probably just gonna paint one of my walls green. Probably what I'll do. Oh, we gotta do introductions. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. That's Daryl. Here, we'll even maximize them here. Woo, there's Daryl. I will minimize them. If you're here, these are just studio shit I have that I never use. So here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. What's on the list? Okay. We don't. Oh, wrong button. There we go. All right. Page 19, and there is a solution. I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to go to page 18. I'm going to start at the top of page 18. So, all right. I think I've wasted enough time that we can get to it. So, an illness of this sort, and we have come to believe it as an illness, involves those about us in a way no other human sickness can. If a person has cancer, all are sorry for him and no one is angry or hurt. But not so with the alcoholic illness, for with it there goes annihilation of all things worthwhile in life. It engulfs all those who touch the sufferers, brings misunderstanding, fierce resentment, financial insecurity, disgusted friends and employers, warped lives of blameless children, and sad wives and parents. Anyone can increase the list. You know, as I go through this, it's like, I tend to think of the people that, I ran out of my life with my alcoholism. And, the thing is, it says here when somebody has cancer, we're all sorry for them. No one's angry or hurt. That person's not stealing your shit. They're not destroying your home. They're not driving drunk. They're not doing a lot of things. They're just extremely dangerous in this world. So, I can understand why people would not want to believe us, or we go on the wagon for keeps a million times, never to really do anything. Yeah, so I mean, it's a comparison, but I don't always feel like it's a fair comparison. But it is a mental illness. Maybe we could compare it to something else, autism.
Mm.
Still not going to work, um, and there's not probably as close as another mental illness that you could come to, but everybody hates them too, is narcissism. Probably that's probably as close as we're going to come on that. So, but it's true. This is what alcohol does. Not alcohol, alcoholism. This mental illness of selfishness and self-centeredness and mind, 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 mind. It's like we're like those pigeons in Finding Nemo, right? Go mind, 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 mind. And we can try and consume everything. Everything. All right. We hope this volume will inform and can comfort those who are or who may be affected. There are many highly competent psychiatrists who have dealt with us have found it sometimes impossible to persuade an alcoholic to discuss a situation without reserve. Strangely enough, wives, parents, and intimate friends usually find us more unapproachable than the psychiatrist and or the doctor. There's a lot of moving parts there, man. There's a lot of moving parts. Because I went through this, wives and parents and intimate friends. I was unapproachable when it came to that. I abused my mom a lot when it came to this, and my wife. But my wife used to tell me, hey, I know the sober Dion, because she was my girlfriend when I got sober the first time. And she used to tell me, hey, I'm just going to sit here and wait till the sober Dion comes back. And she would say, I'm going to love you until you love yourself again. That's what I'm going to do. And it helped me. It helped me get to a place where I was able to put aside my own shit, and say, hey, maybe, just maybe I need to go get something done. Right. But why is it? We're going to get into it. But the ex-problem drinker who has found the solution, who is properly armed with facts about himself, can generally win the entire confidence of another alcoholic in a few hours. Until such an understanding is reached, little or nothing can be accomplished. And there's a difference in there on the approach. One has an expectation and one doesn't. And an alcoholic who is a professional bullshitter, they're going to see right through it. And what do you want? What do you? Because that's what's going to come out of my mouth first. What do you want? You're talking to me, which clearly means you want something from me. Well, since I'm feeling useless, what's going to happen? I'm going to get mad. I'm going to get mad because I don't have anything to give. Then I go on the defense. Right? You want this, you want that. But when an alcoholic approaches me, they don't want nothing from me. There was no expectation, and it didn't make me feel useless. In fact, they would tell me, "You're helping me more than I'm helping you, Dion. You're reminding me it doesn't work out there." And yeah, that kind of hurt, but at least it made me somebody. At least it gave me a sense of usefulness. Even if it was bad, that I understood. That bad attention was better than no attention sometimes. So, don't worry, we're getting to your part, buddy.
No, I'm all good, but I'm just listening at the moment. Just kind of trying to absorb.
The man who's making the man or woman who is making the approach has had the same difficulty. That he obviously knows what he's talking about. That his whole department shouts at the new prospect that he is a man with a real answer. He has no attitude of holier than thou, nothing whatever except the sincere desire to be helpful. That there are no fees to pay, no axes to grind, no people to please, no lectures to be endured. That sounds like a relief to most alcoholics. These are conditions we have found most effective. After such an approach, many take up their beds and walk again. Or at least give it a try.
I love the idea that I was getting a freebie, but I didn't care for the fine print of getting that freebie in the beginning.
Yeah. When we figure out that suggestions are kind of requirements, that those suggestions apply to rarely have we seen a person fail, was thoroughly followed the path, but yeah, see, there's because when it comes down to it for us, like no fees to pay, you already paid it. In my book, you already paid your due,
right? Because
just your life.
And in many cases, we overpaid.
Yeah. We paid for our next fellow sufferer.
Yeah.
Just like I tell people, I used up my drink card and my wife's drink card and my kids' drink card. I used everybody's. There's no axes to grind. There's no people to please. You don't need to please me. You don't need to say what you need to say in order to make me feel better and believe you now. And that's then the truth can come out. I don't want to quit. I
did that though. I played people pleaser for years, sure. Even in sobriety.
Yeah. We can do it
again, I wanted to belong, so I wanted to be a chameleon so that you would let me belong.
Yeah. That's what I believe, is that I wasn't trying to drink like other people. I was just trying to find a place to fit in. So it's mostly what it was, because I was lonely.
I don't know that I had that much of that attitude, but when I did sober up, it was like I wanted to be accepted. I found that out with that first hug. That's why I came back the next day, was for that freaking hug. I didn't think I needed anybody, but so when I was in my cups, I didn't care. I just personally didn't care, and got told that by that judge or by that psychologist.
Yeah,
but when I got to AA, it was like I wanted people to finally like me. Once again, I had that. I was a Letterman and belonged to the Letterman's Club, but the Letterman's Club hated me, and And then when I finally switched over and decided to be one of the stoners, I had already pissed off all the stoners from being a jock.
Yep.
Blah 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 type thing, and so those tapes rolled.
Yeah. When you don't even belong with the freaks, it sets you apart, and it's like how much lower can we go than freaks? But that's rude.
But no, it's not totally rude.
But you know what I mean in that.
If you can't hang out with the other street junkies out on the curb. Because they don't like you.
None of us make a sole vocation of this work, nor do we think its effectiveness would be increased if we did. We feel the eliminate, and here's the part for today's reading, begin where you are. We feel that the elimination of our drinking is but a beginning. A much more important demonstration of our principles lies before us in our respective homes, occupations, and affairs. All of us spend much of our spare time in the sort of effort which we are going to describe. A few fortunate enough to be so situated that they can give nearly all their time to the work, right? So yeah, I have not made a sole vocation of this work, which means being paid to do 12-step work. I ain't gonna do nothing. But I am fortunate enough that I get to pretty much do this all the time. I got a noon meeting, then I got a sponsee, then I got a 3 p.m. meeting, and then I got a 5 p.m. meeting. And those are all things that I will do today. You know, and it's just going to these meetings and helping other people getting Saturday's kind of my day of getting out of self. Should have, because everybody's home. I can kind of catch people on Saturday. But and as part of the sacrifice of giving up our time, so I'm thinking of my wife.
Yes.
She gets Sundays. She usually goes shopping on Saturdays. So. But yeah, the elimination of alcohol is it says here it's but a beginning. I think it's a pretty mighty beginning, for a lot of us.
It's the end. It's the end of
2 hours.
The end of one thing, the beginning of the other, kind of like AD and BC, or BC and AD.
That's right. Well, and we change that, the before Dion, or you call it the Jekyll and Hyde. There's,
Before
there's
drinking,
only
after
one way
drinking.
to be reborn, and that's the death of the old self. So,
Exactly.
but it says, once we kind of, the elimination of alcohol is gone, you can work any step that starts with a 1, and maybe you're like, oh, I'm new, I only have a week, right? But you say that to an AA room, they're gonna give you shit about that. Because
I
they're
don't
like,
do.
"Week,
I
the
only.
first
I
week,
don't. Yeah.
we're
Right.
proud of you."
Right. Exactly. It's the. I don't care for the I only have statement
Yeah,
and whatever follows. It's like, stop, man. Did you do this stuff like daily? Did you
yeah.
ruin your life, everybody's life for who knows how long every single day? And now you got 5 days sober?
And
Oh,
you can't
dude.
stay sober 20 minutes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We were reading that in the spiritual experience yesterday, that the newcomer is not aware of it. The people around them are the people that are aware of it. So say
Yep.
something. For the love of God, just say something. Because they're over there floundering, and we're supposed to do what? Experience strength and hope. Well, that encouragement is hope.
Hope. Right.
Encouragement is
I
hope.
mean, if we walked around in the rooms, dude, and somebody, we asked who's in their first 29 days. If
Mhm.
those that raised their hand, we went, whatever type of attitude. It's like,
No,
would you come back to that? I would.
there'll be more of an uproar than the person that says I got 20 years.
Right.
We're going to be more proud of the person with only, right? Yeah. I was
Look at
talking to
this.
somebody the other
Look at
day.
this decision that you just made, dude. Look what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's
It's a
huge.
big thing. Yeah, it's a big thing. And we make a big deal out of it on purpose. So that because we understand that you feel like you still don't quite belong yet.
Why are there 5 coins in the first year?
Yeah. Yep.
It's for congratulations, reward, uplifting,
It's an encouragement.
celebration, and encouragement. Exactly.
They're I want to say participation awards, but they're much more than that.
It's so far beyond that, brother.
Everybody's a winner. Everybody wins in this situation.
I used to shake my, when I came in, They didn't have 18-month shifts. I don't know that there were 24-hour shifts 34 years. I don't think so.
I always remember 24-hour chips, but 18 months didn't come around to like the late 90s.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden you had, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months,
Yeah,
4 or
that I
5,
won't
and
do
all the
that.
fill-in chips,
That
type
just
of
leaves,
deal.
we have to, I understand that we got to have our accolades, but we cannot utilize time for success. I just
For
saw somebody
me,
on Instagram, they're like, no more wine. And it's like, I have 2 days sober. I'm like, whoa, buddy, here, come on.
yep. But I mean, it's like maybe for some, especially those that weren't exposed to what you and I were exposed to in the beginning. When I got that 3 months chip, and I had to wait 3 months to get another chip.
You worked hard
I
for it.
mean, yeah, right.
There's more of a sense of accomplishment when you have that delayed gratification in there.
Yep.
You
And
know,
and that's exactly what I think we used to call 18-month, or used to call those chips whiner chips to some people. I mean, the ones that filled in the blank.
yeah.
And it was like, that's kind of the things you and I have talked about how we've become deluded,
Mm-hmm.
and how just to appeal to the more masses. I think it was whoever made up those chips wanted more money.
What?
New and
Well,
improved.
well, it's just like, a lot of people use this app, Everything AA.
Yeah.
It is not an AA app. So people know. It's not an AA app.
Nope.
It is not. It is run by the Takami Corporation out of Japan. This one's based in Arizona. And if you think they're not making money somehow, I don't know. Everything's free, and I can't really find anything wrong about it, but it's maybe they're doing it so they can use a write-off or something. Who knows? But just so people know, that is not an AA thing, but it's very useful. What I don't like is the day counter. I don't like it. I'm not, I see it all the time. I hear people, I've got 100 days. It's like, we don't celebrate that.
And I've been to meetings as of late where they actually say, how many days do you have?
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know, today.
right.
Well, see, what that leads to in a lot of people's minds is I got to stay sober forever. And now we're out of that 24-hour period, and you're not going to find happiness.
I quit
celebration, but you may not.
Quit counting. Yeah, I quit counting days on the 365th one.
Yeah. When we first came in, you had to get 30 days before you could speak. So it was another kind of a celebration. Hey, I finally get to speak. I made it. And it was a part of something. Now it's, tell us about your day. And it's like, I don't want to hear about your day. I want to hear experience, strength, and hope. But it's also is what it is, and this is God's world. So in a sense, it's also perfect the way it is. So who knows? Maybe being able to say how their day was makes them feel like they are more part of the group and they're being listened to, and then they'll want to come back.
It was a difference. Like at Putt, they asked who's here in their first, second, or third meeting since their last drink.
Mm-hmm.
But anymore, it's like who's in their first 29 days. Well, I get to raise my hand 29 times.
That's why I took it out of grassroots. I'm not going to torture them. Now we put up 2 requirements: first, second, and third meeting, and 29 days. So you pick one. You don't do both, because not only that, but it eats up time.
Well, yeah. In the old days of Putt, and when we would put on a weekday, we would put 150 people into a 5:30 meeting.
Yeah,
it would take time.
Yeah, that's why it's just and it was just the raising of hands. You didn't introduce yourself. Oh, no, you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. So,
But with Puck, though, it was first, second, or third meeting. So
yeah.
you know,
The thing is,
after the second day, it was like I've been to like 5 meetings.
there's magic in the number 3 for some reason. First, second, or third meeting, 30 days, 3 months, then 3 months to the next one. 3 times 4 is 12. There's 12. 12 is a magic number. 3 and 4 are magic numbers in this whole thing. It's just something that I've noticed as far as numbers go. Videos.
I mean, they didn't have chips in the beginning.
No, they did not. No, you gotta.
Right. Or actually, you got your ass dragged up to a room and you went through this stuff that night.
Yeah. Or you were dragged up to the podium and you got to tell your story.
And then there's that. That's a back east thing.
If we keep on, I want to use it here. It's weird, but it's cool. I
It's
mean,
it's just how that format's work back there.
right behind you, man.
Right. It's just how yo, Amber.
Morning,
So
Amber.
it's just how those formats ran back east, man.
Yeah,
And still do.
yeah. That's it. I want to say tougher. We'll go different.
Yeah, it was just that's just the way it was.
Mhm.
What we do today is evolved from everything else.
Correct. Because AA is supposed to be malleable and it
Right.
is supposed to meet people where they're at.
But
And
there's
not
some old
everybody needs a
traditional
rough fucking hand.
Yeah, there's some traditional stuff back east. I mean, just on this last trip that we took and what have you, it was like go to a meeting just to go to a meeting, somewhere else. And there was podiums.
Yeah.
There was an aisle in between 2 sides, and there was a podium in the middle.
Yeah.
And if you raised your hand and you were chosen, you got up and you went to the podium and you spoke.
Yeah. Yep. You were the center of attention.
Right.
And there's
You didn't
something
just
about that. And I'd like to do that with the grassroots meeting. We'll see. We already kind of do it on Zoom.
right,
So.
exactly. Which is one of the things that I like about it. But it's like anymore, if you're in a meeting, you're sitting in your chair and you're wondering who everybody else is looking around. Who the hell's fucking talking?
Yeah. And sometimes we sit in a circle. It depends on but there's
It
something
depends on the
about
meeting.
there's something about raising your hand, having to stand up, walk up there while all eyes are on you. Okay. And what is it? Well, it's faith. It's courage. Because
Courage.
the
It's
number
also
one
accountability.
fear is public speaking. That's
You're
the number one.
taking accountability for yourself as well.
Yeah. Now, when we do it that way, people are going to have to be picked on. Picking on people. If a meeting is silent, I believe that it's time to start choosing people to speak. And this is what, and people are like, well, you don't want to do that, but I'm going to tell you 9 times out of 10, this is what I hear. I was going to be quiet today, but you're right. I need to say something. I feel like it's a God's thing.
You hear it all the time.
Pick on my friends all the time. No.
Pick on people you haven't heard from lately.
I'm sorry?
You pick on people that you haven't heard from lately.
There you go. Or, hey, that person celebrated 30 days. How'd you get those 30 days? That matters. That matters. How did I get it? You want to know how I did it? Okay. I don't really have much to say. 10 minutes later.
Right?
I'm introverted and shy. Blah, 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 blah. It's because you feel safe.
How many times in school did you sit in the front row by the teacher?
Well, never.
Yeah.
It was assigned seating, and they didn't want me in front of them.
Well, they may have assigned seating, and
I understand where you're going. I just want to throw a joke
in. I ended up being in the front row because of that.
Yeah.
So she could keep her eye on me.
It probably just depends on the teacher.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing in those meetings where you just sit in your chair. You know, it's like, who is it? It's like, it's me hiding back here in my little corner, and it's like, really, don't disturb me. Blah blah blah.
And I noticed, like, because I was in a meeting yesterday, and this meeting gets pretty big. It's on OIA, and I think we had like 42 people, something like that. We used to be at 80 at one point, but when the meeting ended, not 20 seconds later, there was 4 of us. So it's like I understand that these meetings are bigger, but what are we really doing? Are you just going to the Zoom meeting and leaving the volume up so your wife can hear that you're going to a meeting? Is that what we're
Well, and yes, I agree, and it's like, I think some of those meetings in those parking lots were just as important as the actual meeting that I just attended.
That's what I was trying to get to. I think we're done with the book. That's what I was trying to get to, is those parking lot meetings. That's where the camaraderie happens, man.
Not just camaraderie. That's where, for me, my personal experience, that's where them old crusty fucking weathered out bikers put me in my place on more than
Yeah.
one occasion. It's how I got my road name. I mean, who do you think you are, the big kahuna? That name stuck
Yeah.
because I was spouting off saying shit that I shouldn't be saying because I didn't know enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had been there for 24 hours, and I'm talking, I'm all this and that. Yeah, I'm a bag of chips.
In AA? What? Watch me solve the world through AA.
I mean, that's where you remember John Williams.
Yes.
He's the one that would walk by me and start singing, "Slow down, you move too fast," and it pissed me off until I understood why he was saying that. It's like you're on your soapbox, Daryl. You're on your 90-day fucking soapbox. Get off that motherfucker.
Yeah. Part of the pink cloud,
Or Pink Cloud was encouraging. I mean, it's like that's where I learned to tell other people that are in their pink cloud. It's like, take notes because you're gonna want to refer to them later.
Yeah.
How you got there?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can't get back to the pink cloud again. But I
Oh,
found
you absolutely can.
I found balance is kind of it for
Balance
me.
is better.
Some people prefer the higher up, and they can handle that. For me, it's a little too much for me.
What I didn't,
I'm still learning,
I
say.
didn't like the crash.
Yeah, I didn't
It's
like
like-
falling on my face and breaking my nose again. Figuratively, I've never broken my nose that I'm aware of. You got to follow that up. Got to qualify that. All right, let's do the reading from here. It's usually pretty easy for me to be pleasant to the people in an AA setting. While I'm working to stay sober, I'm celebrating with my fellow AAs our common release from the hell of drinking. It's often not hard to spread glad tidings to my old and new friends in the program. At home or work, though, it could be different story. Yeah, it's easy to be nice in these meetings because there's a common thing. And we've been through, you could have 2 people that just don't like each other, but they'll agree on everything in the meet. But once we get outside, we've got to carry that same grace for everyone. It's just not, we can't use the meeting as an hour of alleviation for us. That's where we get that's where we fill our cup back up again so we can go back out into the world and do it successfully.
To me, that was Sunday's church in my mind. It's like you go for an hour and a half, maybe wash away all your sins, and then you go back to being a slug for the next 6 days.
Yeah. That's why I like AA, because every day You know, if it was once a week for me, honestly, I don't know that I'd make it. I would just miss people too much. And I would, you know. Once a week wouldn't be enough for me. Um, anyway, at home or at work though, it could be a different story. It is in situations arising in both of these areas that the little day-to-day frustrations are most evident, and where it can be tough to smile or reach out with a kind word or an attentive ear. It's outside of the AA rooms that I face the real test of the effectiveness of my walk through the AA's 12 steps. Yay. All right. I think that's a wrap on this one. My coffee's cold.
That one actually,
Yeah.
mine is too. I just realized that with that last swallow.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
I,
coffee, but not like that.
I really like that topic. It was like, that was cool. I hadn't heard that one. So
Yeah. I
And-
thought it was.
it's my response to that. Well, in my reply in Dion Live was a picture of a hot dog being eaten in the middle. It's like, how do you start?
Yeah.
How do you begin in the middle? So I didn't realize until you read that. It was good.
Yeah. Well, it worked out. Nothing
Yeah.
happens in God's world by mistake. Right. So.
Right on, brother.
All right. Well, we're done being live. So Shay got it. She's like, now you can wear your live while you're going live. I'm like, they're one of my favorite bands. So, all right. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, man.
Or
I love you, man.
all right, love you too. Love y'all.
Talk to you later.
Good to see you,
Bye,
Amber.
Amber. Bye, anybody else that might be in here.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Have a day.